Tattoos and piercings have become very common in society, even a major part in today's modern culture. Yet as popular as they are, there is still some major discrimination towards the people who modify their bodies in this way. My claim for this speech is that discrimination towards tattoos and piercings ultimately harms the workplace. We'll first look at society's view on piercings and tattoos, then at the discrimination that takes place in the workplace, then explain how this harms the workplace because of such discrimination. Okay. My first claim is that society views tattoos and piercings to be offensive. Now, I speak of this in a personal manner because I have my ears gauged out, and so do my friends, and we've all had those looks where people are like, okay, you know, he has his ears gauged out, it's kind of offensive, and I don't know why, but they act kind of like as if you're a criminal or a delinquent if you have such things. Another way society views tattoos and piercings to be inappropriate and stuff like that is that they also have some regulations against it. In some states, they prohibit the tattooing of the hands, face, and neck, such as Rhode Island and South Carolina. And these are our own bodies, you know. Why shouldn't we be able to do whatever we want with them without being discriminated against? My second claim is that the workplace discriminates against the visible tattoos and other piercings that people get. This is also another personal story. My friend Nick works at Petco, and a customer came up to him and said that his earrings were offensive, and therefore his manager asked him to remove his earrings. Now, there was no clothing policy for this job, and he was told to remove his earrings because one customer complained about him. Same thing happened for another friend who worked in a fast food restaurant as a mascot, where you were not able to see his face, yet he was told to remove his earrings because they were somewhat offensive towards the company and promoted a bad image on the company. Another set of evidence for this is the court case Puche versus Costco, where a woman has an eyebrow piercing for months before the company asked her to remove it. She takes the company to court, suing them for racial discrimination. I mean, not racial, religious discrimination, because she claimed to be part of the Church of Body Modification, which is actually a legitimate church under I guess the Code of Churches or something. I can't think of the correct terminology right now. The court ruled in favor of Costco, saying that it was because of their policies that she was not allowed to wear the eyebrow piercing, therefore proving the fact that there is discrimination in the workplace for people with tattoos and piercings, even though it's not clearly stated. Another piece of evidence for workplace discrimination against those with piercings and stuff like that is USA Hockey. I work as a youth hockey official, and I'm required to take out my earrings before every single game that I officiate because it promotes a bad view for like my company while I'm working. It kind of says that like I'm not qualified and looks unprofessional according to them. My last claim is that this type of discrimination will ultimately harm the workforce in the United States. In 2003, a Harris poll was conducted that claimed that 15% of Americans have at least one tattoo, and that 15% was about 40 million people at the time. That's 40 million people with a tattoo that could potentially not be placed in a job because of where they choose to place it. And by eliminating those people from the workforce, we would have higher unemployment, and that would cause more need for programs like food stamps, and homeless shelters, possibly, if they couldn't even support themselves. Overall, there is discrimination against tattoos and piercings in society, and this discrimination can possibly harm the workforce. That's it. I know. It was bad. I'm the first one to admit it too. I know, right? I think it's the time. Yeah. It's not one of those things where I can see you yeah. It's kind of one of those things where I wish I was black out and just
All right, Ethan, the proposition's clearly identified. You lay out the ideas adequately. You get a little stuck and lost in a couple of places. Watch out for the shits. Yeah, I know you get lost. I know sometimes, and just catch your breath. Look for where you're supposed to be and go on, which is ultimately what you did. But it undermines your credibility a little bit when you're suggesting that there is not something to be seen as a problem from having tattoos or the piercings that you're talking about, and there's nothing wrong with it. The language thing is one of those things that people have a problem with too, and they might start associating it with the same thing that you're talking about. You got to be very careful about that kind of stuff. And I don't like your haircut either. All right. I don't know. The internal signposts are fine. All the evidence on the first point is example evidence, and it's primarily personal examples. So I think you need to get a little bit more there. The one example that you have is the lawsuit that's involved, and you've got a result there that suggests that the courts upheld it. You need more detail on that lawsuit because it undermines your credibility when you can't explain why she had a legitimate claim. I guarantee you that most people who hear, she claimed to belong to the Church of Body Modification, they're going, yeah, right, and I belong to the Church of, hey, come on over here, I want to have you, So that entitles me to hit on everybody who comes into the store. I think that that's a little bit of a stretch there. But there might be some legitimate grounds for that argument, but without the details on it, it's hard to make that particular case. All right. I like the evidence that you had about the number of people who have tattoos. However, the inference that those people are not going to be able to get jobs, I think, is a little bit of a stretch. Because all the examples that you have are the personal ones at the beginning, it's a little bit problematic. If there is some data or research on this, it's not being presented here. All right, thank you.